All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakhaha, Quadash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And welcome to another GMS on the job being brought to you through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, providing edification to the Lord's elect in the form of a gourmet meal that they may be filled. Now, what I'm going to be responding to is a video that was uploaded by this guy right here. Okay, in which he makes claims that ISUPK admits that they are a false Israelite group. Okay, but we've been telling y'all, starting with our apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down, about these false Israelite groups out there. We've been telling y'all and warning y'all about ISUPK, IUIC, GOCC, HOI, House of Israel, HODC, House of David Church, FOPI, for our people's evolution, or for our people evolution. We've been telling you about these guys, but you people, you wanted to close your ears. You wanted to hear what you wanted to hear. And then when you got deceived, when you got misled, when you finally realized that you've been robbed of your money, now you want to get mad. You want to hop on social media. You want to complain about how rotten these guys are. But the thing is that you should have listened. You should have listened, because these false Israelite groups out there, according to the Holy Scriptures, they will be considered as the wide gate, that the broad and wide way that leadeth to destruction. So without further ado, let's play this video.
ISUPK, Black Hebrew Israelites, said that they knew the day and the hour when God was going to send his son to come back to the earth and destroy America. They said it was going to happen on the year 2000. And now today they're saying the angel told God to wait because more Black Hebrew Israelites needed to be sealed or saved. Imagine the angel controlling God and telling him what to do. Let's take a listen. So heavy that you bring that point out, because remember.
Let's stop right there, because first off, ain't no angels telling the Most High what to do, okay? Ain't no angels telling Yahweh Shai what to do. Yahweh Shai is the one who give out the commands, okay? Under the orders of his Father. Ain't nobody telling the Most High what to do. Like you got an angel up there in heaven telling the Most High, no, you can't just kill him, man. This dude is cool, man. He knows how to play the guitar. He can do a backflip. He can clap with his feet while playing some sick tunes. Nah, the Most High don't care about none of that shit, man. Okay? The Heavenly Father wants to know if you're a Israelite, do you fear him? Second of all, okay, when the Messiah returns, he's coming back to deliver Hebrew Israelites. He ain't coming back to deliver Black Hebrew Israelites. Okay? And I'm going to say it again. The Lord is not coming back to deliver Black Hebrew Israelites. So for some further context, before I get Isaiah, the 11th chapter, let's just look up the definition of black. Because, see, you people throw around this word black like it's affiliated with something cool and gnarly and awesome. And y'all don't know what the word black means. So let's just what does black mean? And what is it associated with? Okay. The meaning of black spans across science, psychology, symbolism, and cultural identity, which no color should ever be assigned to cultural identity. Because when Yahweh and the angels made every nation on the planet, they didn't make black people. You're not going to hear anything about black people in the book of Genesis. Okay? In the book of Genesis, there were 3 different categories of men. You had the sons of God, which when they came back in the reincarnation, as Israelites, the descendants of Jacob. Then you got the sons of men. Okay. The sons of men would be your Arabs, your Arabs, your East Indians, your Africans, your Japhetic people, which would be your Samoans, Hawaiians, Malians. Okay. Your Chinese and Japanese. Okay. These are your sons of men today. Okay, these are your sons of men. And then the third category of men that you read about in the book of Genesis are the sons of the wicked. Okay, and the sons of the wicked would be your Edomites today, which will be your self-proclaimed white people who have changed their nationality to a pseudo name that has no ties to the Holy Scriptures. Okay. They call themselves Europeans. They call themselves white Americans. They call themselves Australians, Ukrainians, Russians, Germans. Okay. But in reality, they are the biblical Israelites that the Bible speaks of. Okay. But the Lord has allowed them to create this pseudo narrative that they are white for the purpose of fulfilling prophecy. Okay. So colors should never be used for cultural identity, because the Holy Scriptures does not deal with using colors such as black and white to identify who is who in the Bible. Now, while the word black, it does appear in the Bible, okay, you got to understand that when the Bible was first written, which was written on scrolls, okay, it was written in the Hebrew tongue, okay, the Paleo Hebrew tongue. So the word black there, back in the ancient world would have been quadar, which means dark skin. And there's plenty of examples of Israelites who spoke about their skin being black upon them, meaning they're dark skinned. Okay, so black should actually be replaced with quadar, which is the Hebrew word for dark, which is Hebrew for dark skin. Okay, like when you read Jeremiah, it tells you Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish, they are black unto the ground. Does that mean that they are pitch black? No, it means that they are dark skinned, because we are different. We Israelites, which are the Negro, Latino, and Native Indians, we are different shades of brown. And you so-called white people, you're not white. You're different shades of red. That's why when you stand out in the hot blazing sun too long, you turn red, just like your forefather Esau. But in any case, let's continue reading this. It says let me see. Okay. I'm trying to get. Let's see. Let's look this up right here. What does the color black symbolize? The color black symbolizes loss, grief, or solemnity. Fear in the unknown is associated with darkness, can lead to feelings of anxiety, fear, or negativity. So you see, the color black is always associated with negative vibes. Negative vibes. Okay. But then when you read the word white, right, it's always associated with something positive, innocent, pure, clean, respectful, kind, trustworthy. And you so-called white people are everything but that. You're everything but white. Y'all cannot be trusted. Okay? Y'all are the biggest liars upon the face of the earth. Your nation are the main reason why wickedness is spread in the earth, right? Because it tells you that in what is that? First Maccabees, the book of First Maccabees, the first chapter, when Alexander's generals put crowns upon themselves and they gained rule within the earth, evils were multiplied in the earth. Okay. So you Edomites have always had a history of spreading evil in the earth. And we see that. Okay. So, you going around calling yourself a Black Hebrew Israelite, you're associating yourself with negativity. Okay. Plus, the word black is associated with evil, wickedness, bad or evil times. And, it's associated with darkness. And when you read the book of John, the first chapter, what does it say? Men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. You see, you Negro, Latino, and Native Indians, the majority of you love these ways of wickedness. You love living a wicked you love living a wicked lifestyle. Okay, you love committing adultery, you love stealing, committing homosexuality, being a pedo, and all these things that are, all these things that go against the ways of the Most High. Y'all love them. Okay. And all these deeds that the majority of you Negro, Latino, and Native Indians are doing, these are the type of things that Edomites love to do. And now the scriptures say that y'all have learned the deeds of the wicked. No, scriptures say that Y'all have surpassed the deeds of the wicked. I guess he's closing that up. Okay, so, there's this false narrative running around that we are black. Okay. And one thing these false Israelite groups refuse to do, they refuse to acknowledge that there are Israelites that look like people of the other nation. And let's come over here real quick. Let's go to the book of John. No, let's go to the book of James real quick. Okay. James, because you see, in the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, a part of the curses that the Lord said would come upon us was that we would be scattered on the four corners of the earth. The Lord said that he would scatter us from one end of the earth even unto the other. And there we would do what? We would serve other gods, both wood and stone. And here it is, 2026. You got Israelites that look like East Indians, worshiping Shiva, Ashtoreth. Okay, you got Israelites that look like Arabs, worshiping Allah. You got Israelites that look like Chinese people, worshiping Chemosh, some flying dragon, right? Some mystical flying dragon, worshiping Buddha. You got Israelites that look like Japanese people, worshiping Buddha. You got Israelites that look like Africans, worshiping Egyptian gods. No, you got Israelites that look like so-called white people, worshiping Satan. So that proves the point. The Lord said that there will be Israelites scattered on the four corners of the earth. And as a result of that, after generations have passed by, what happened? Okay, slowly but surely, we a lot of our people lost their traditional Israelite look. Because, you should know what a traditional Negro looks like, like Wesley Snipes, or like Yahweh. That's what your traditional Negro looks like. You should know what your traditional North American Indian looks like. You should know what your traditional Latino look like. But because we have been scattered on the four quarters of the earth, we ended up looking like the people of the other nations. Now, we also know that according to the book of Numbers, that Numbers chapter 1 verse 18 says what? Numbers 1 verse 18 tells you that your nationality is determined by who your father is. So if a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indian have sex with a woman of another nation, that woman of another nation is going to give birth to his child, but his child is going to come out looking more like the mother, because the woman is usually responsible for the physical features and looks of the child. So the child might come out with lighter skin, more stringy like hair, but the child is still an Israelite because the father's an Israelite. And if that child was to grow up, being a male, and he have sex with a woman of that same nation, that child's going to come out of his wife looking more like, the people of that nation. So, again, we cannot just we can't just be reckless and judge by looks. You can't just look at a Chinese person and say that you're a gook and you're gonna be a slave in the kingdom of heaven, because you don't know if his line goes back to a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native Indian. Okay, we've been scattered on the four corners of the earth. But again, you got these false Israelite groups, pushing this narrative out there that every Israelite looks like a so-called Negro, and they don't never touch the topic of the wheat and the tares. Okay, because just because you have brown skin and woolly hair does not mean that you're an Israelite. Okay, you got Edomites that look like so-called black people. And when they ask to perish on this side and come back in the kingdom of heaven, they're not going to be sitting on thrones along with us. They're going to be slaves. So, again, man, James chapter 1, verse 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahushua, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting. So the 12 tribes have been scattered on the four corners of the earth. So when the Messiah Yahushua comes back, right, who is he going to deliver? Let's go to Isaiah 11, verse 11. And it shall come to pass in that day, right, that the Lord shall set his hand. Who's the hand of the Lord? Yahushua. He shall set his hand the second time, right? He shall set his hand a second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros. So you see, these are the different lands that when Yahushua come back, he's going to command his angels to go to these different areas throughout the four quarters of the earth where we have scattered, according to Deuteronomy, right? In James, the first chapter, he's going to command his angels, which traveling with the world calls UFOs, to basically go to these different regions and deliver his people, the Israelites, which look like the people of those other nations, because their lineage goes back to an Israelite, and they're of the elect, and they have been chosen to receive salvation. So it says that they shall be left from Assyria, right? And modern day Assyria, you could say, is America, right? Which is going to be the main place of deliverance. And from Egypt. Egypt is where the Hamites live at. So guess what? You got Israelites living in Egypt. You know what that means? You got Israelites that look like Hamites. They look like Africans, but they're really Israelites. Okay, and from Pathros. So you're going to have Israelites coming out of Pathros and Cush. And from Elam, who's Elam? Elam are the East Indians. So you're going to have Israelites that look like East Indians getting beamed up into what the world calls UFOs. And from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. So what are these guys talking about? Talking about, when the Lord come back, they're coming back to deliver Black Hebrew Israelites.
Dropping 2,000 degree clear glass, trapping.
Okay. So when the Lord come back, he's not coming back to deliver Black Hebrew Israelites, okay? He's coming back to deliver the elect of the nation of Israel, which are all Israelites. With that, I'm going to say Shalom. Is on to the next one.